As our family comes to the conclusion of the criminal case, we would like to thank all the members of this community who have shown us their support, from city officials to strangers on the street. Your encouragement has sustained us, and we are not only disappointed in this sentence for ourselves, but also for those in the public who would have hoped this sentence would have fit the crime. In New York State, a criminal can get 2 years back-to-back sentence in Jefferson County for double burglaries. Unfortunately, Judge Merrill did not think this crime against our husband, father, brother, and uncle was worth anything more than 1.5 years to 5 years. We have been told by some that this verdict would bring us closure. There will never be closure in this family. Unfortunately, this verdict compounds the pain of our beloved Bob's death. Placing him in a facility a stone's throw away from his family is what the Colemans can live with. As best stated by my sister today in our statement to the jury, perhaps Leo Coleman's family can take comfort in the fact that they can visit him in the flesh while he's incarcerated, and that after his brief sentence is served and upon his release, his heart will beat and he still will draw breath and they will still have him in their lives. Comfort eludes us, however, when we visit Bob's grave at Brookside Cemetery. All we're capable of is feeling his immeasurable loss. The statement that what we wanted was to bring Bob back is absurd. We know that is impossible, but what we were seeking was justice, not revenge, justice. We will now have to live knowing that we received no justice in our minds for the life of our loved one. In a 10-page victim impact statement written by our family, our entire family, we pled with all our hearts to Judge Merrill to raise the bar in sentencing. He reviewed other similar cases and compared verdicts. Ultimately, he chose to rule based on prior cases as though this process should be determined much like real estate comps. Until a judge is brave enough to show the courage to rule based on the parameters of each case, then nothing will change in New York State. You can be charged with aggravated vehicular homicide, which carries 8 to 25 years at the max, along with 14 other counts, and serve 1 2/3 years to 5. Will the next victim's family have to endure the same sentences based on the sentence Leo Coleman received for killing my brother, our brother? Will this, and uncle, will this sentence deter anyone in the future from drinking and driving? We have heard justifications of Mr. Coleman's actions that I would like to address. For those who think this crime can be justified because Mr. Coleman did not mean it, or as expressed by the esteemed Counsel Rossi today, he referred this to as an unintended tragedy. The minute he turned that key, it became intentional. But tell that to my brother's son at the next father-son Boy Scout camping trip where he is not there because Leo Coleman didn't mean it. Tell him that when he won't be there to coach him in hockey or at his graduation because he didn't mean it. My sister-in-law Tammy is not here today because Zach, my brother's son, is suffering from pneumonia. It has been 1.5 weeks of her going back and forth to hospitals, doctors, and my brother would have been there helping. Her new reality as a single mom is what our family is faced with now. The justification that this could happen to anybody also doesn't cut it. What did Mr. Coleman not learn from his first DWI offense? Nor does the phrase, "both families have suffered," ring true. Leo's family will see Leo, feel him, have Thanksgiving, Florida vacations, and Christmases with their loved one. All we have is heartache, but I can't imagine what it would be like for his mother to have to endure such pain. 2 days from now would have been my brother's 49th birthday. That's a date we'll remember, not this date. My nephew also celebrates the same birthday. We can't do that anymore. They can't get together and celebrate. Reverse the situation. How would Leo Coleman's family feel enacted if it had been their son who was killed at someone else's hand? To this audience, let me ask you whether you think of the person you love the most. Take him in your mind. Have him killed by a drunk driver and feel that pain. Magnify it 1,000 times, and that's what it feels like. Today we heard the first words of remorse from Mr. Coleman. At the last hearing, he pled guilty and had the chance to state that he was sorry, but again, his attorney advised him differently. And today we heard it for the first time that he was sorry. What we cannot imagine, while we can't imagine what this is like for his family, it pales in comparison to our heartbreak. After 1.5 years of waiting to hear his sorrow, we heard it today for the first time. All we can do is process that. But what we may have to remember is his words to a first responder at the roadside. Yeah, baby, I'm drunk. You gotta fix this. Get me out of here. We've had to live with those words. Our beloved Bob's dream was to retire and come back to Watertown and run for city council. His first job was with Neighbors of Watertown, where he was instilled with helping the plight of people less fortunate. Anyone who knew Bob loved him for his sense of humor, his work ethic, his compassion for mankind, and deep moral values. He was an innocent. We all lost a great man. Our biggest blessing through this nightmare is that ultimately justice is in the hand of God, and whatever comes of this, God's hand will gently guide us and Mr. Coleman, just as exactly as it should be. His will be done. Bob Burkard was a man of faith, and he is in a far better place than any of us sitting in this courtroom today. We love him and can't wait to someday join him there. Thank you.